Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Bone Podcast. We're talking all things crypto, maybe a little bit more Blast related because it's hot. It's hot right now. We're talking.
Dude, that's all that. Is this just the Blast show?
No. Well, hey, we are going to be talking.
Kind of has been for the past week or whatever, and I feel like we've over-indexed on Blast at this point. North Korea is getting involved with this shit, apparently. Dude,
the North Koreans are
listening to our podcast.
They are.
I think it's bullish that the North Koreans are here. They only come where there's money. So, if your chain's not getting hacked by the North Koreans, you're not making money because there's no money to be hacked. So we'll take it as a good sign about Bloom yesterday.
Oh, there you go. We are going to talk about that. We're also talking about the Fantasy.top. There's an announcement coming up, how to take advantage of it, whether or not you're under or over exposed, depending on your portfolio allocation to this fantasy game. Because we are still very early. And we're going to talk about some Solana NFT price action. There's been some FUD on the timeline. We're going to break that down. It's been controversial, but today's show is brought to you in partnership with Nifty Island. This is the community-driven, I would call it a Roblox style Web3 game. They've been absolutely crushing it. We are doing a stream today at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you have not played the game before, we're going to be doing some tutorials, getting you all plugged in on how to play the game, how to farm the upcoming island token, literally by just playing the game. And if you haven't downloaded it, you can go to niftyisland.com and download the game. We're super excited to be doing this. We've been working to get the stream set up. It should be a very, very good time. We hope to see you all there. Nick, before we kick off the show, how you doing, man? You look good.
Doing pretty well. Dude, just living a solid life here in New York. It's a little gloomy today, though. But I'm absolutely crushing it, Clemente.
Okay.
Things are just going insane, man. I'm out of here chopping it up in the market. You know what I'm saying? You know what I saw? Dude, the crypto price action, wowzers, there was some positive action. We thought it was dead, and then it went up. We're operating within a band of $10 on Solana, and it's driving the emotions of the Twitter timeline. If it's on the higher end of that $10 range or it's on the lower end of that $10 range. This is kind of one of the most boring markets ever, leading people to degen into things that offer gold points that have prices defined primarily by NFT stats. NFT stats is estimates.
I know, but come on, this isn't some just random person who's putting out numbers about the space. He's not. Look, this is NFT statistics. He was on Goldman's bankroll at one moment. So if anyone is putting out good numbers on gold, I wouldn't mind having a former senior Uber guy, senior Goldman's guy doing it for the space. So even if he's off, how much is he off, right? So even if $10 is high, order of a magnitude, what worst case, 30%, 40%, 50%. I don't know. It depends on what it does depend on what the chain value will be at TGE. But let's see. I think with the action, anyway, we'll get into it because we still need to do the weather report. But I'm happy that the guy putting out the numbers isn't a randomer.
When you're very defensive, it's clearly that you're overexposed, Signal. So I mean, you may want to talk to somebody about that.
I am so overexposed that if I was on the beach, I would have burnt by now. That is how exposed I am. And I can tell you, I don't burn easily. So let's get into the weather report because
let's do it.
It's Friday. Let's end the week properly. It's Friday, May 10th. You got that ETH market volume at 9.8 million. At Solana market volume at 3.5. And Ordinals is at 3.2. If we look at the market leaders on Ethereum, you got Animoca backed Sword of Grandia mints, and it's up 30% to 0.3 ETH floor. Over on Blast, those penguins are down to 0.12. On the Solana side, Elixir's Labs are up to 40% to 6.1. So, and Madlands are down another peg to 68. So, on the ordinal side, Prometheans are up 50% to 0.014 BTC. On the crypto roundup, as Nick was saying, but we have had a bit of a rally over the last 24 hours. Got Bitcoin up 3% to 63,300. Ethereum is just hovering at that sort of 3,000 level, and Solana at $154. And Memecoins also following that lovely pace as well. You got Epic, that's up 80% to 21 million. Friend, that's up to 220 million. And PopCat, that's up to 520 million. Over the past 24 hours, top 3 stories. Well, firstly, Blast released their 3rd gold distribution last night, with Thruster, Fantasy, and District 1 receiving the highest allocations. 15 million of gold was distributed in what is expected to be the last gold distribution prior to the anticipated Blast TGE at the end of the month. Secondly, Blast DeFi app Bloom Tradie got exploited, losing around $540,000 of user funds. But they did announce that they made a deal and recovered $486,000 after paying the hacker a bounty. Reimbursement for affected users is going to happen in the next 48 hours. And then lastly, EigenLayer's Eigen token claim goes live today at 1 p.m. Eastern. After the initial FUD, Eigen increased the overall allocation and provided clarity on investor vesting, stating that the vesting starts once a token is transferable, and transferability is estimated to come in September. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Hey, thanks for that weather report, Signal. Absolutely crush it, as usual, every single day. I mean, just absolutely dominating the weather. What are you going to say?
Well, a quick thing on EigenLayer. I was seeing that even the airdrop that you get, there's like non-transferability until then. So you're just sitting on it. And I tried to check if I was eligible. You can't even take a quick trip to Portugal and check. They are not playing around with the regulations there. But Nick, did you want to run with some of these stories, or should I?
Yeah, that's great. I'll take care of the rest of the show from here, Clemente. Thanks. Okay. The Daily Bone newsletter, it's emailed every day to anyone that subscribes at dailybones.com. Very excited about today's stories. Yield and Juice airdrop small amounts of tokens to Pac-Moon holders in an effort to increase their distribution and chances of hitting the Blast jackpot. Should I have staked my
So I actually have a little bit of a bone to pick with this. They were like pretending, and nothing against Juice in particular, but Juice is like pretending like they're doing the community a favor. Hey guys, hey, check your wallets. We just airdropped you some fire. It was $1 a pop. Let's not go crazier. And it's literally just to boost their stats to try to get the Blast Gold allocation or the jackpot. That's it. So they're just using you. You're just a number. If you received $1, I protested, frankly. I didn't even put it in the deck. Because even if I win, I'm going to get like 0.05 gold. So I'm protesting.
This is ridiculous. Yield and Juice, take a hike. Take a hike, you losers. You're creating. Next thing they're going to do is create a refundable NFT. Like everybody else. And I put
to be fair, Clemente, to be fair to Nick and Clemente, Juice was already one of the winners, one of the predicted winners before they did this, because they already had enough momentum to potentially tip the scale for the jackpot. The fact that they've done this, even though it was a small amount, and don't forget how many wallets they would have had to have sent this to. So from a marketing perspective, this was probably I'd have to look at the numbers, but probably a nice piece of chunky change for them to put that to all the wallets in the ecosystem. But it's not a bad idea. It's probably tipped them to potentially maybe win the jackpot. So a couple of more buttons to click and you just put it on your board and you see what happens. And enough people don't do it like Clemente, your chances go up. So you get more gold. You got to think more people are like Clemente than people like me. Nick, have you put your Juice on your board?
No, I haven't. Real quick on this front. Well, I didn't pay attention. So, I mean, I guess I can do it. I do have some empty slots, so I might as well throw it on there. But I haven't been farming this gold aggressively enough, which is just frustrating. Also, isn't the underlying price of all these things going to implode once gold? So how do you Clemente seems to think not, but that's literally how the math works. Basically every single time there becomes a new Ponzi that you have to back up in order to keep the old Ponzi in place. So that's the only option that you end up doing. But Bored Ape Yacht Club managed to do that for a few years. Yeah. But it doesn't, their Ponzi was different. It was based on social dynamics and people wanting to own one of the apes. But
are you talking strictly about the Blast jackpot or about just Blast in general? The Blast jackpot, it depends, right?
Blast gold. Well, I guess the Blast jackpot. So yes, that the end date of that. When does that end?
It's unknown. So May 25th, you're going to be able to like exchange your blast points for something. We don't know if it's going to be the token. I doubt it. But that's one of the dates to be watching for. I think the TGE happens sometime in June, but then you're also going to have the season 2 of Blast Gold rewards, which is like, for example, one of the things that is going to happen, I think, is loyalty score for your L2. Like if you're using Optimism, if you're using Arbitrum, I think there's literally going to be a loyalty score similar to what Pac-Man did with Blur and OpenSea back in the day. He's going to do the same thing except with layer 2s. But we'll talk about that a little bit more. Nick, do you want to finish off the stories from the newsletter?
Dude, this whole game, look, we're going to operate on my time, Clemente, okay? That's what's going to happen here. But yeah, I'll go to the next story. But this whole incentivized, dude, there's like questionable value being produced here. Wolf Game announces that they're moving to Blast. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll launch Cave Game to make the transition.
They did do a 3X. Sheep did a 3X and a little bit questionable, 48 hours before the announcement. But, you know.
Yeah, I thought was a pretty strange. I mean, I understand why they're coming. And I think we're going to see more historical projects coming over. But on the criteria, it like clearly states that native projects are higher ranked, and also projects which are newer. So the newness of the project also factors into it. But I mean, we'll see how it goes because you also have to think about the size of the community as well. Like, how are they going to bring more people in? But what's, I think, interesting about this story is that it's building FOMO. It's building FOMO outside of the Blast ecosystem, and old projects which people are not paying attention to are now somehow on our radar simply because they are deciding to come over to Blast.
Yeah, which is, this is like the press. Everyone's been standing on the side waiting to do something. Now it's clear that like Blast has action on the timeline. People are like ready to take advantage of this. Been waiting, been sitting here waiting, ready to monetize this opportunity. Get ready. I'm gonna go make a quick 100 grand, like real quick, and then do nothing. Do literally nothing after that.
This is they're owned. They're part of Pixel Games or whatever.
No, they are. Yes, they're part of Pixel Vault. They got acquired for the Reboot ecosystem, which I believe is over on Arbitrum. Now, this is the bit which I don't quite understand. I thought that Wolf Game would be over on Arbitrum, but apparently within Reboot, the games can sit on any chain, so it's actually multi-chain. So this is why apparently they can come over to Blast. But yeah, they did get acquired.
So I want to go on to the next story. We can come back. Basically, all we're going to talk about is Blast, of which there's 300 people in the world that are interested in that. But let me jump on to the next story real quick. Vitalik proposes multi-dimensional gas pricing to further reduce gas costs as well as increase scalability on Ethereum. Here's the ridiculous nature of this. He created it 20 minutes before the meeting, which was the meeting of which was to discuss another proposal. In any other world, you call this a bad boss, basically. It's like, is essentially what the situation, like this guy comes in, jots some shit on a piece of paper. He's very verbose and very communicative. And we also know that he's like basically a prodigy. But the prodigy comes in, jots some shit on a paper and is like, yeah, we're going to discuss this instead today, guys. And you're just like, what the hell happened? There was an agenda set. There was an agenda to discuss another EIP.
So hang on, but Nick, what's the TLDR? Are we going to see gas like at Solana prices over on Ethereum, or is this more like just slightly lower than what it is now?
Basically, my understanding of this, from what I had read yesterday, was that a regular account can turn into a smart contract temporarily. The result ends up being where you can pool together resources for gas, which enables certain parties to subsidize it. The problem with all this stuff is this is all theoretical stuff, which does get applied into practical, the practical side of things. But you're basically still dealing with a bunch of theoretical blockchain, we'll call them scientists, who are creating like experimental bullshit that no one can use. And we're still applauding these guys. You got to get the theoretical physicists out of the building. You got to get out of there. We got to get down to business to figure out what the hell anybody can do on top of these blockchains, because basically we've just been floating around doing different stuff to a degree where now we're dealing with the Blast layer 2, which is not really layer 2, it's just a wallet, where there's an API that normies can develop with, because that's what every normie developer wants, access to something that they can actually code. They don't want to go code on Solana, because Solana is like wildly complicated to code, versus like Solidity, which is easier to code. Still an environment where if you have a bug, it fucks everything up. But you know, like, and now Vitalik's coming in here. I'm sure that this proposal is wildly visionary, genius, and going to transform everything as it applies. He drew out a chart to make it easy for you to understand. He drew that chart in the 20 minutes that it took to write the proposal. I mean, what's going on? This guy is an incredible blogger. That's the takeaway from this. This guy may be the ultimate. You can't beat him at blogging. There's just no way. This guy just churns out PhD theses in 20 minutes. This guy deserves to be in the highest of education. Like he should be working. If Ethereum doesn't work out, this guy's got a promising career ahead, you know?
And you can go, he's an up-and-coming blogger, Vitalik Buterin. You can go to vitalik.eth.limo to subscribe to his blog. But all right, Nick, let's take us home on the newsletter.
Okay. Binance and KuCoin have registered with India's Financial Intelligence Unit, becoming the first 2 offshore crypto companies to be approved. Sorry, Financial Intelligence Unit? Are these guys like spies now? What's going on? What does that even mean? Is that like their equivalent of the SEC, or is this their equivalent? It is.
I'm assuming. Yeah.
Sounds like the CIA, but like for finance, basically. They're on the they're doing some investigative work over here.
I do like the name. I think that's way more badass than anything we have.
It's their AML regulator. So this is not their SEC. You just threw out it's their SEC without any contextual knowledge whatsoever. Tell me real quick about that organization, Clemente, about the India's Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU. FIU is what people call it.
Yeah, the FIU is crucial in making sure the circulation of money is being monitored properly, right? They take care of their citizens in various ways, making sure the banks are locked up properly, that people aren't spending their money in improper ways, basically. That's the FIU, or FIU for short.
Sorry, so that the banks are locked up?
Yeah, like the proper security. Anyways, next story, Nick. Next story, Nick.
Okay, what to watch for? Fantasy, yet again, Fantasy.top will reveal new heroes and more information about future plans during a live stream at 2:30 today. If you weren't standing by waiting for this, I don't know what you were doing. Okay, you got a date tonight? Cancel it.
Cancel.
There's going to be some Fantasy.top news dropping. You got
Nick. Are you going to be on there, Nick? Do you think?
Like, will I be on Fantasy.top at some point?
I'd love to see you. Honestly, I'd love to see you as a hero. I think you'd crush it. Honestly, I think you'd absolutely crush it.
I was supposed to be a hero on the first version, but apparently I didn't respond to Clemente's text message fast enough. That's what they're telling me. But they didn't start bombarding me messages until 2 weeks ago, and then I immediately the same day go and sign up. I don't get included in whatever the hero season is, which is just like, are you kidding? Like, what's going on here, dude? Like, I was promised a lifetime of free money, and they undermined it. But yeah, I will be. I think I will be on there. Looking forward to my account being botted and the entire reputation being destroyed.
They're solving for that. They're solving for that, and so those issues go away. But we can talk about it later in the show. But you're not going to get botted. You're good. You're good.
We keep postponing the conversations to later. It's going to be like 10. It's going to be like 10:15. And
because what happened was everyone's accounts were getting botted, so they stopped the tournament early. They're aware that obviously the bot situation is serious, because if the heroes can't tweet, well, we can't play the game. And so they're changing the algorithm to go from, instead of relying on views and number of followers, it's going to be more akin to the way, say, the Google algorithm works, in terms of it's more about like, what is your open network? Like, how do you like what is your mind share of the crypto space? How connected are you? And they're going for that approach, which I think is obviously better. So your number of followers or number of views will really not count, or will be weighted a lot less. So that is why that is why the tournament got stopped early, and they're rolling that out.
We're mentioning real influence. Well, what I'm thinking about doing is starting to produce videos where I'm just drinking an immense amount, going out to parties. Like, I won't be doing drugs, but they'll be on the periphery just to let people understand that, like, I'm with the right crowd. Okay, like that's what. So, and I'm gonna be just vlogging the hell out of that. There's gonna be models upon models that are gonna be featured in the videos, so that this whole group of people think that I'm cool. And so I'm going to be producing some pretty exciting content coming forward.
That'll be very exciting. I can't wait to see it. We don't have to talk about Blast too much today. I think the Fantasy.top stuff is interesting. I still think that we might see some botting signal. People trying to they're going to be playing dirty. They're going to try to get accounts suspended. They're going to bot a bunch of stuff. It's pretty bad. You saw a lot of people getting like 1,000 retweets on a lot of their stuff, which then deboosts their other posts, right? So either way, the bot problem is something that they're going to have to continue to deal with, and I think is the biggest question mark around Fantasy.top. But I'm watching for some heroes today. I'm going to try to buy some more. I think I'm up to like 20 cards, and I've got 2 ETH sitting pretty ready to just snipe. I might get Easy. I might get Nick. I'm definitely going to be in there placing some bids and waiting for it. But the other thing to question is what the distribution is like for those heroes and the season 2. But yeah, I personally like Zeneca, D's, NFT stats. Those people have been getting kind of deboosted because of their large following and kind of low reach. But I expect that to change. So I've been buying accordingly. Signal, I don't know if you have anything there on Fantasy.top.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask Clemente, because I saw your tweet about having a very specific goal from going from basically 0 to growing your portfolio to not 0, but I can't remember what the low number was. So I'm going to say it's 0 because it's
from like 10K to like quarter
250. Billion. Yeah, no, 250,000, which I think is it's a punchy goal and a really good goal to go for. Are you like, what are you going to be just leaning into? And is Fantasy.top part of that strategy?
It's literally just Pac Moon and Fantasy.top and just hyper obsessing with Fantasy.top. I've been like at night, whenever I get like, I finish, I'm winding down, I just go hard on Fantasy.top, tracking the performance, seeing what tweets are doing well. I have like a little lineup of cards that I'm watching for and optimizing for different strategies. I'm under the assumption that Fantasy.top will be launching a token at some point. I'm looking at it as like a market cap of all the cards and how much I own of it. I'm also doing a lot of volume trading signals. So I've had like 75 outstanding bids before they all got cleared up last week. So in the chance that they reward people based off of volume and transactions, I'm just bidding and listing. It's so uncrowded right now because the technology still isn't great. Like it takes time to place bids. You can only press one at a time. There's a lot of friction there still. And I expect obviously that to change over time, but it's still super early and you're kind of at the mercy of what these guys decide to do. So either way, I'm just trying to participate as much as possible.
So with the new leagues coming out, how are you thinking about the leagues and which leagues you want to be in for the cards that you have?
It depends. I have a common deck that I really like of about 5 heroes. But that's probably the one that I'm going to be competing in, just the common league, and then probably not trying to optimize for like the super rich league, and then just go from there.
Honestly, I absolutely love Fantasy.top, and I'm not normally into these kind of games, but I feel like it's like bringing together like football, but like EU football. So you've got like your different leagues. You've got like the Champions League, you've got the Premier League, and then you've got like the relegated league. And there's going to be a lot of pressure as the game goes on to see like, do your heroes have it in them to just keep tweeting, because we don't know how long this is going to go on for. So this is really going to like bring together all your years of being on Twitter and following all these people and just putting that knowledge and skill together, and then we see how this cooks. And if it goes well, I think this could be the game that gets us through eggplant season. Then we go into September, we've got the elections, and it's just going to be a ripper on Bitcoin. That's how I'm thinking about these next 3 to 4 months at least.
Yeah, Nick.
Just playing fantasy top. I like the analogy to European football. You know what I watched last night was the documentary on Wembley Stadium and what went on there. The battle at Wembley, whatever it was, the attack on Wembley, I think is what they called it. I didn't even know that went down. Then I went and saw it. I was like, wow, things got quite quick synopsis for the entire documentary. Not to spoiler alert coming. Basically, things got quite dangerous. Some people saw the game for free. There was some shattered glass and some cuts, but nobody died. And there were no fatalities thanks to the fact that the UK lost, basically, the Euro Cup in 2020. And so everyone ended up just turning around and going home when England lost. Had they won, there could have been a mass fatality event, is what the documentary was saying. But they were building up the tension. You were waiting for something to go off, like a bomb to go off, some situation where like literally bodies were just like littered all over the place. And you're just like, oh my God, it's about to happen. We're about to see a mass casualty event here. And then it just ended and everyone turned around and went home. That was the entire conclusion. There was an Italian family that was fearful, a father and a daughter who thought that like they had to protect her. He was like, man, I made a bad decision coming here because there were bottles that were flying. The Italians were protecting his daughter, preventing the bottles from hitting her in the head. Fantasy top, way safer. There's no risk of a mass casualty event. There's going to be no fatalities. There may be people that lose money. There may be, based on Clemente's advice, because we're now just listening to what the move is. What should we be buying here, Clemente? And you're the reason that the price is going up. Do you realize that? No. You're buying the cards, talking about the cards, then dumping it on all these suckers, and that's how you're going to make $250,000. What's up with your like ethics and morals, dude?
That is true. I have not been dumping on people though. I've been just trading the game, and my account, and you can go check it out at Chile Army 123 if you want to go check out my fantasy top, see what I've been buying and selling. I do actually want to pivot a little bit. People were talking about Solana meme coins. I briefly want to touch on this because I think it has been a topic of discussion the last 24 hours. We've seen Michi is up 150% last time I checked. Absolutely ripping. We have Epic Duck. This is from Mando. It's up 2x in the last 24 hours. There was some FUD. People were hating on, we're sleeping on Mando. If you bought that dip, you are up 2x in the last 24 hours. The Michi chart up to 200 million. I was getting shilled this under $1 million. Did I buy it? I did not. But shout out to Braden Schur, I believe, is the guy who's been just relentlessly on every single tweet I've had for the last 2 weeks, just dominating, and he made a fat bag, and I did not buy. Nick, what do you make of this meme coin price action that we're seeing here? You obviously have exposure to the Epic Duck. I think, do you have exposure to anything else here?
I mean, I'm probably down bad on the Epic Duck right now, like wherever that's at. I'm glad that it's following another pump. The Michi token, that I've been seeing that on the timeline as well. I did not trade it despite everyone continuing to repost it. It's at 215 million. What's the total, the market cap of PackMoon?
PackMoon's market cap is
I think it's 140
FDV.
Okay, and how high has it gone?
About there.
That was its all-time high. Okay,
so Pack is doing well. That's the one that I'm paying attention to. I understand it's not a meme coin. In the same way, there's actually other value that's coming out with PackMoon at this point in time. But that's one that I'm in. Epic Duck, interesting. Shout out to the Michi people who made money on this. What's the upside? Who are like the primary people that are is our boy. Oh my God, why did I just forget? Who did the vlog?
FaZe Banks.
No,
Ansem.
Ansem. Is Ansem and Michi?
Ansem, I think he did tweet about Michi last night, which is what prompted the run that we saw on it. I'll pull up the tweet.
Dude,
We
you know
also
what
have
the better place to be, dude, is like you need to move from a Fantasy.top influencer to a meme coin influencer and just pump the shit out of your bags because you're gonna make a fortune, dude. I don't know how much Ansem's walking away with, but it's definitely in the many millions at this point in time. He's just straight chilling based on these pumps. Just does a single tweet. Yeah.
I cannot get involved in that game, man. The meme coin game is wild. Yeah, so this was he's been apparently shilling Michi for quite some time. There's a little cat in the corner, apparently very memeable. Signal, anything to add here? We also have Whiff up 10% for anyone keeping track, up to a $3.1 billion market cap right now.
I haven't been paying too much attention at the moment outside of Blast. I've been buying a little bit here and there outside of the ecosystem, but I just don't want my attention to be so fragmented. Like at the moment, to be so fragmented across different places, and like Blast is it's really intricate. You really need to understand which of the hot dApps, which of the community, like which of the NFT communities that are doing well, which are not doing well. Like, you know, even winning jackpot, people ask me, how are you a 4 times winner, Signal? How have you done it 4 times in a row? And I say, because I've invested a lot of my time in it, you know, basically, no, but really, I mean, people were saying like, how did you get in on Pac Moon on day one? And it's because literally day one, the account tweeted and said, if you like and retweet, we're going to just drop you Pac. And that's what they did. And these plays are still happening. These plays have not gone away. There's plenty of this kind of stuff still happening within the ecosystem. And so I'm really just heads down into Blast. If something interesting catches my attention out of it, I'll, you know, dabble in, but I'm coming back. This is where all the action is. And I think you really need to take advantage of these next, like, I want to say 6 weeks, because once summer comes, a lot of people leave their computers, and that activity might diminish a bit. And so you just want to run with it. And then like whatever happens in summer, but just bearing in mind that the real activity comes back in September. So that's why I'm kind of like all in on Blast right now.
I resonate with that 100% as well. As of the next 6 weeks are pretty crucial if you are in the Blast ecosystem. I do think it's going to get juicy, and it will pay dividends for the ones that are the most plugged in, because it does have that level of intricacy versus meme coins. Just put your money into these high conviction bets. It's just gambling, and let it sit. That's kind of what I'm doing. What I did. I'm just pretty much in Nub and Nub Bonk and Epic. Nub not doing too hot. Their account got suspended and it was a disaster. And anything else, Nick, here on the meme coins front? Nothing else too much going on there, but we can actually move on. I want to talk while we're talking Solana. I want to talk Solana NFTs. We saw Mad Lads dip to 60 SOL. Below 60 SOL, down 75% from their all-time high of $35,000. Kook Capital, the controversial Kook Capital, took credit for this after fudding them in a tweet at 80 SOL yesterday. He said, Mad Lads are going much lower. There's no reason to hold any NFT right now. And an expensive PFP is not a flex. It's a badge of stupidity. And then 2 hours later, after the floor price coincidentally crashed a little bit, he said he was paid $25,000 to FUD Mad Lads. So Kook Capital is making waves, taking credit for the Mad Lads dump. They have recovered now to 68 SOL. But Nick, you are a Mad Lads holder. Would you consider buying the dip here? I'm curious what you think of what's going on the SOL NFT front right now.
Jesus, dude. I don't know, man. That's a tough one, dude. That's a double black diamond slope right there on that chart, dude. That is difficult. That is tough. I'm down bad. What the hell is going on here?
Wait, how can you be down bad? You bought like I think at the
I got
equivalent
it like
price,
60
wasn't it
soul
like
or something like that. But I think Earth, no, 30 soul, I think is where I bought
30 so, and then you picked up all the airdrops along the way as the price went up. So you like
What airdrops?
they've had that's why the price went up, because the Mad Lads got so many airdrops. That's why it
I
went
don't
just
think I got the airdrops is the bigger thing. So I like I'm God. This is just this is difficult, man. This is difficult. I think I missed all the airdrops. This is just man. I bought it 80 soul according to Pio. He took the time to text me this. Thank you,
80 soul.
Pio.
So you're
I'm
probably
actually down on this buy.
not in USD. There's no way you're down in USD.
No, not in USD. No.
You're just down on the soul. So probably maybe would have been better to hold it. But you didn't get the wormhole airdrop.
Didn't get it.
Yikes. Okay. Well, Nick, would you consider buying the dip here? Would you get another one? This feels like a moment. They're $9,500. We were talking about you potentially buying a Bitcoin puppet at around 20,000.
People are saying, how did you miss the airdrop? Because they weren't fucking airdrops. You had to click on things in order to do this. This is administrative bullshit work. Clemente is not a trader. He's an admin. That's basically what this is. Do you want to become a crypto admin? Go join Fantasy.top. Go join Blast. Go buy a stupid fucking NFT and see what happens with your money. This is the dumbest shit.
Dude, he's gonna be the highest paid admin like ever if it plays out how he wants.
This is
I know, man.
Bullshit. I'm getting this. What value is being produced at this point in time? No wonder the numbers are down here on this whole space, because this space, there's no value. There's no value being produced. Where is the money that Clemente is getting coming from? Where is it coming from? It's coming from some other stupid idiot who's putting money into the space. It's not. You can't print it out of thin air. It doesn't just appear out of thin air. Blur in this case is airdropping tokens that are converting from gold. Isn't that where does this all convert into? Doesn't it just convert back to whatever Blur's token is?
What are you talking about?
That's the thing.
Like
season 3?
Like the points convert into the gold, which converts into the Blur, which converts into a theoretical fucking number.
No, that's
not even the world's greatest not even Vitalik, the world's greatest blogger, can figure out what the fuck is going on here. And he's so busy off in science land that he doesn't give a shit about what's being built on any of these things, even though a lot of the stuff is on Solana. But that we got Solana in this case. That one's L2 ETH. He doesn't care. That guy's just like, well, I'm still a billionaire. Doesn't matter. I'm just straight chilling. I'm gonna go back, draw some notes up. Doesn't care about what's being produced, and we're creating the world's like this is the talk about the talent pool that's being lost, the generation that's being lost to Blast and Fantasy.top and all this other bullshit. And I'm a cat, like I'm caught in the crossfire. I'm not getting airdropped. I'm buying some NFT that's not, and I don't get the airdrop because I'm not a fucking admin, because I'm trying to actually do something. This is, and then we got the best game here is Ansem's game. Just hands down. Any other game is stupid. His game is very transparent. There's two things. Go buy the token, then pump it on your Twitter. That's option one. 2, get paid by someone to go pump it on your Twitter and become a fan without any disclosure whatsoever, and just make a fuck ton of money from pumping these random tokens that dumb idiots that don't have, like, well, they're not all dumb idiots. Some of them are getting paid for. The smartest person in all of this is the person that's getting a salary over $200,000, not doing shit at work. That's like Google employees, places like that, where they're just making a ton of money. The Google employees are more like $400,000 or $500,000 plus, and getting paid. And then on the side, They're taking that salary, putting it into some stupid meme coins, making more money on that shit, not delivering any value to their employer, and then not delivering any value to the world, just going home, checking in, checking out, boom, making money off that. That's the biggest genius. That's the best play. Clemente is doing that right now. We're giving him a salary, and then he's going at full time on his own bag.
So
Following in Easy steps. Easy's not even here. Where's Easy? He's fucking gone because he falls into the same group. All these admins. Welcome to the Daily Admin Show. Sorry, Signal. Go ahead. What are you going?
He is derailing. I was going to say on this monolithic rant. Well, one point I do agree with you is actually like airdrops used to be airdrops back in 2021 where you didn't have to do anything and it just magically appeared in your wallet.
That's an airdrop.
And now, yeah, that's an airdrop. And literally that is the definition of an airdrop. And then now we have moved to a place where I do empathize with Nick on this point because like literally he's building a business, right? He does have other stuff to do. And so having to you hold this asset, you need to go into Discord, you need to verify your asset in the Discord, you need to go through some collab land thing, then need to find the message in the updates, then you need to click on whatever it is they want. And this isn't one asset. This is several communities are asking you to do this. And that's very frustrating if you just want to just hold the asset and ride it. And to be honest, we just saw in ordinals, I mean, I'm referencing 2021, but we just saw in ordinals, old school airdrops to everyone who had wallets who in last year, and they all received assets and they didn't have to click any buttons. And all these airdrops cost a significant amount of money to the teams and they still did it. So I actually do empathize with Nick on this point that airdrops are not being like traditional airdrops. Dude, and are involving a lot of button clicking.
It makes me want to get out of this space because you've lowered yourself as an individual to participate in this bullshit admin marketing garbage, which is producing nothing. There is no value being produced. Have you seen Farouk's tweets lately? I love the guy, but it's garbage. It's just garbage. He's like, and even Loopify is in the same thing. He baited me on something to quote tweet. All he wanted was impressions, so his fucking Fantasy.top goes up. The whole thing, the entire plot's been lost. This whole space we were talking about, dude. NFTs changing the game. This is the future. We're gonna be, the idea of remember how car titles. We're like a great use case for NFTs. Who the fuck is doing car titles for NFTs? Not a single person in this space gives a shit about what's actually about the technology. No one's in it for the technology. That's a joke. It's a bunch of jokers on the timeline, all pumping their own bags. I'm getting tired of this bullshit. Okay? At least do something. What is being done? I don't know, man. This is getting ridiculous. I'm a little, and I'm getting fucked in the process because I want to go and build something, but I can't.
Well, right now it is inherently very PvP with where we're at. There's just no new entrants in the space, and I like Nick a month and a half ago. I was going through this exact same thing where I was like, dude, fuck this. Like, what are we doing here? It's all PvP. It's all the same bullshit. Like, you're just competing against everyone else. And I resonate with it. Like, I don't know. Or you can just get into whatever is being created here. I think there is value being created in what Pac-Man is building with the 5% yield, with this layer that he
fuck up. What are you talking about? With the 5% yield of a manufactured token to move money around, to migrate something, to build.
This is actually such a mid-curve take, the hating on Blast because it's a Ponzi. Like, that's if you build something on Blast right now versus anything else, you inherently get a 5% yield or 15% yield on the TVL that you have on there.
Yeah, I know. I could do the exact same thing by just taking ETH and staking it. Like, there's no there, but in this case, it was like, look, here's the pitch. Do you own Ethereum? Do you have extra time on your hands? Do you want to click some buttons and basically and do some tweets that fill the world's mind with absolute garbage, come on over to Blast. We'd love to have you because we're in the process of hiring developers, finding developers to build things that aren't going to be around 3 months from now because everyone's going to abandon it because they're going to all go back to Ordinals and be like, well, that Blast run was fun. Fantasy.top was cool for the few days that the card game was fun, which I have nothing against Fantasy.top, honestly, from that standpoint. If the game is fun, which Signal seems to think that the game is fun, that's awesome. But outside of that, and I'm really looking forward to me getting an airdrop. And as one of the commenters said, I will definitely change my tone, once that goes down. But like, so I'll be positive for a couple of days because I can be bought. But let's be brutally honest about what's going on here. Yeah. Like, you could go play Fortnite. I mean, I guess at the same time, like, is that better? Is like someone playing Fortnite and then just streaming it on Twitch? Is that a better? I don't know, but I'm just at a loss for like what the value of this, like what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
It's entertainment, Nick. At the end of the day, this is gambling and entertainment, and it's like people like Fantasy.top. The game is extremely sticky, and I think what it was actually something I was thinking about. Was like, if you took away gold, how many of these apps would I actually use? It's true. There's only maybe less than 5 I would actually use if there was no gold. But the fact is that the incentive in place it already has killer apps, and more good apps are going to be built on this ecosystem. And I think value is being created, whether that is value because your meme coin goes up because there's a gold jackpot. I mean, people don't have to sit around for gold jackpot, right? If you've got a meme coin sitting there and it's gone up 30% because the space is speculating that prices are going to go up because it's going to be in jackpot for gold, you sell your meme coin, you go. That is value. That is real money in your pocket. Like, everyone's just like, there's so many different ways to play this. And I think like, if you remember the timeline, this time last year, personally for me, like, I was this close to being like, I'm done with this space, because the timeline literally was people sending money to pre-sales, the most like misogynistic, racist, horrible crap on the timeline. And you're just sitting there and you're like, is this crypto? Is this what it is? Just a bunch of horrible people like Ben.ETH, all that crap was happening. And now 12 months later, we've got this flourishing ecosystem, which is being built and people are using apps. You've got people for like Zeneca coming out and putting up like good value on the timeline. I would take this any day of the week than go back 12 months and have to go through that crap again, because that really made a lot of people leave. This is not making people leave. This is making people come in and want to play.
Well, I don't know if like we have new people joining. That's the one place where I disagree, but I do agree with your assessment that like it is gambling and entertainment. So that's completely valid. I mean, it's a literal jackpot. That's the way that it's like, the site is designed like a lotto app or like a slot machine or something like that. So that is the foundation of what this is. That is kind of where I wonder like how, when you look at like content as well, basically that's where all of the stuff is gambling as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm like, but that is a good way of describing it. Gambling and entertainment. But why do we need, what does crypto have to do with that entire thing? It's just like branding, basically. It's like the crypto game is essentially what it is at this point in time.
Because everybody's here to make money. The game, I personally, like, lots of people will be like, oh, this is not true. At the end of the day, what Blast is showing is that everybody is in this game, not everybody, but a lot of people are in this game to make money. And there's enough people that want to do it because, you can look at the numbers, that you can build an ecosystem around it. But the fact is, if it's just like, betting on hamsters, that's not going to attract enough people to be able to build a real L2 ecosystem, right? And what we're seeing are the seeds of games and dApps and SocialFi all being built and interconnected. And I haven't seen this happen on any other chain. No other chain brings together other dApps and teams in this way. It's very rare that you get something like Pac Moon being used in Cambria, being used as an airdrop. Like, And all of this is interconnecting and make the ecosystem having positive momentum. It could all obviously go away tomorrow, and it could be a house of cards that comes crumbling down. But for the time being, for the next 4 to 6 weeks, this house is solid.
Well, look, I'm looking forward to being on Fantasy.top, having my hero card showing up, switching my tune all of a sudden. But it does feel like all this bullshit clicking on buttons that does nothing. Dude, I like, there's people that we've chatted with that where like the entire game is literally just like, it's just moving money from one place to the next to click on a button to do, like, there's no actual, it's at least with like some of these games, Fantasy.top is in, there's some strategy involved because you're betting on like who's going to do well on Twitter. So it's like, that's an interesting game. It's a speculative bet on Twitter accounts pretty much. And that's what, but at the same time, that's kind of what meme coins are as well, is the exact same thing where it's a like you're essentially saying, is there a large enough cohort of people that are going to post about this meme coin to a degree where people start taking note and buying? So I feel like it's the same. It's very similar. I mean, yeah, it's
with meme coins, it was different because it's you buy something and then it inherently, literally all you want is just price to go up. This is you're buying the Twitter performance of someone over a given period of time, right? Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying is like Ansem's willingness to tweet about Popcat or whatever the heck the next meme coin is directly correlated to the performance of the underlying token, which is also similar to his Fantasy.top performance, is directly correlated to the number of times that he's tweeting, which all comes back to literally just social media performance. And so that's all the bet that we're doing. The crypto part of it is just migrating money from one chain to the next, from one wallet to the next, clicking on some buttons to make the exact same bet, which is that I think that that person is going to pump this thing. That's the game. So you can skin it a million different ways. NFTs are the exact same thing. Our NFT is the same, is to a large degree the same thing. How are we going to figure out a way that we're going to go and pump that asset basically for the holders? That's the name of the game. And leverage, social media is a major part of all of that. In fact, I think it may be the only thing that matters. Like Luca with Pudgy was a very similar thing. There's also a couple of other notes on this, but yeah.
I'm getting a number of texts from Pio saying, making a comment about Bitcoin not being included in this conversation, that Bitcoin solves a lot of problems. He's replacing gold. People using crypto to make fiat will never be rich. Bitcoin solves problems every human has.
One of the social media influencers tweeting about Bitcoin. It's the same fucking thing. Look, the stock market is the same thing. The stock market is the exact same thing, except that those are people that get to go on CNBC. That's the only difference. So the stock market, by and large, is saying, go buy my bags. Bill Ackman or whatever, name a hedge fund manager that ends up happening. It's the exact same thing, basically. But the only distinction is like, if you're on CNBC, the society is like, oh, damn, you were on CNBC? Let's grab drinks, buddy. Let's catch up. Let's go hit a round of golf real quick. Like that's the only distinction. There's not enough golf people in crypto, and that's the fundamental problem that we're dealing with right now.
There's a smaller amount of people in the crypto ecosystem, and it's more transparent with the crypto, with what
it's transparent, but it's also like, if it's the distinction is at least I will say with the stock market, there's businesses that are attributed where you can analyze the financial statements of those companies that you're presenting a thesis based on some underlying number that exists. Although there's some people that just purely do technical analysis and say it doesn't, like the financials don't matter at all. Crypto is purely technical analysis, nothing to do with any of this other stuff. But yeah, I guess I'm just wondering like why Jack's now texting me saying stock market companies make money. And I'm like, exactly. Like nothing in this space is producing actual, like it's a circle. So you just need more people to come in, basically. Money needs to come in, more people need to participate, and they need to show up to the casino. And that's the same thing. It happens across the board. Yes, there's also, we have the whole ETF thing, which you could say adds a whole other variable that PS saying,
stay focused.
dude, he's getting triggered by this.
Any closing thoughts on this? Because I do feel like, I mean, I was the exit liquidity back in 2021 for ETH NFTs. I came in and crypto. I bought the top of Ethereum. I bought the top of ETH NFTs. I lost a shit ton of money. And that was like the part, like, and a lot of my relatives, a lot of my friends that asked me, hey, what to buy? I'm like, dude, buy Bitcoin. Like, that's it. Maybe buy Solana as well. But Solana, you have to sell at some point, because this whole idea of, we're in here for the next, like, focus up for the next year and a half, and you're going to make your generational wealth, and to sell on, like, basically dumping on the normies, it is something. But I also, during COVID, I bought a shit ton of stocks that were shilled to me, and I lost 75% of my money on those. Like, I got
your money on stocks during COVID.
I bought growth stocks. What was it, like Clover, Penn Gaming? Dude, it was gnarly. It was gnarly.
How did you lose money in the stock market during COVID if you bought after the dip?
No, I bought like after the stimmy hit in like the summer.
So you waited.
That's when everything.
The
Yeah, that's when I was exiting. Actually, that was when I bought when somebody very close to me who's worked in banking for years said, they're going to turn off the stock market. This is it. It's over. And I went straight to the stock market, and I was like, I'm buying here, because if the stock market is going to turn off and this is the end of the world, then this is it. Let's go with the last hurrah we throw in. And that was March. That was like mid-March. And then I exited, I think around July, August time, when Clemente came in. So, thanks, Clemente. High five.
Yeah, Clemente out here. He's been learning lessons for years, basically, on the trading front of when not. He's been FOMOing into everything. This Blast thing is the first one where it wasn't FOMO. He was beating the drum when the timeline was silent on this particular trade. So I do appreciate that side of things. And look, there is a circle of people who are still active in the quote crypto space. But I'm just pointing out the fact that, like, anyone who's calling it crypto at this point, to me, is just like, no, it's just arbitrarily complicated buttons for you to click. Like, that's basically where we're at with the majority of it at this point in time.
And there's a complexity that comes with the stuff being built on Blast/Fantasy.top that I feel like I have an advantage, but it's the same level of buying to try to sell at a higher price. That's it. But figure out where you have your biggest advantage in, whether it's ordinals, whether it's runes.
No, Clemente, I actually think this is why Clemente got dumped on, right? Because when he was trading in July or August, he had no edge. He had no edge. He didn't know what he was doing. He was just coming in when everyone else is coming in. But I actually think the reason why Clemente will do well in this, in this next 6 months, is because he has an edge. And he is in the arena. He's literally the man in the arena on Blast. And it's this edge that I mean, at the moment, Nick, I feel like it's greater than yours. I feel like Clemente will do much better than so many other people, because after so long of losing money, he's literally found, this is the place I have my edge. And like, dude, I'm cheering for you for in here, because I feel like the reason why so many people lose money in crypto is because they don't spend enough hours studying it and understanding it. And then once they find their lane, and this is my tiny niche I understand, that's when they flourish.
I think you're right. He's going to do well on this, and I think he should do well on it. We talk about these opportunities each day, and like, identify where you can actually go participate to actually get yield. You're benefiting from it right now as well, Signal. I'm benefiting from it as well. I own some Pack, like Pack Moon. I like the trade. There's other stuff that exists here. I like the simpler trades where I just buy the underlying asset, like Pack Moon. You get a 3, 4, 5x on that trade. That's pretty nice. If you can find, there's multiple 100% plus opportunities that exist in this space. That is the fact of the matter. That is why we're all participating. But I just want to, like, call a spade and be like, yo, anything that involves all this stupid fucking admin work is a joke. It's not crypto. It's just arbitrary. It is technically crypto, but it's not actually. There's no practical value of that actual aspect of things. Whereas like it's really about where can you get the network to move, and where's like the latest meme of the moment, which is why I think meme coins are actually fundamentally potentially the best and most pure version of all this, which is just go do it that way. Just go pump the meme coin, basically talk about the token that you have. Why do we need to lie to each other and pretend that there's actually anything interesting that's happening on these platforms? It's unnecessary, needless complexity. You're on the depths of the market. You're like in level 4 of whatever Pio's favorite movie is with Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception, exactly. Pio says that's the best movie that's ever been produced. His words, not mine. I disagree. But the bottom line is, at those levels, that's where we're operating with Blast and Blur, and everything else is down at that level. You can be at like the top level, which is just go and buy a fucking token, basically, like is where it operates. You can go buy Bitcoin. Layer 2 is going buying meme coins and or other crypto tokens. L3 is we're talking NFTs, DeFi, L2s, all this other shit that's going on. L4 is we're going to call it refundable NFTs on Blast. I'm just joking. But yeah, it really is like operating at that point. And I guess I'm just a little frustrated because it's like that the level of admin work that needs to be done. I got money spread across 14 different 40 different platforms, all sorts of different places. It becomes untrackable. And that's where all the money is being made out of this, is that I've put money, locked it up somewhere in some place that I can't even tell you where the fuck it is at this point in time. It's just like sitting over there in Iowa. Shout out to all the Iowa listeners.
Shout out to all the Iowa listeners. We're going to wrap on that. Nick, I appreciate the honesty. I think it was much needed on a Friday. But that's going to be our show.
We've been talking about it all this week, basically, all this stuff. And I'm just like, how much time are you spending on that, Clemente? How many hours a day do you end up spending going on Fantasy.top, monitoring the market associated with that?
Literally just at night. I send out tweets. Like I spend 30 minutes during the day to send out a tweet or to make a video, because I try to do 2 to 3 tweets during the day. But in terms of actually like trading and like buying and selling stuff, I do it all at night after dinner. I'll throw on some Curb Your Enthusiasm and just get busy. But yeah. Anyways, join us.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. I like that game, dude. But are you done?
3 p.m. Eastern. Join us at for the Nifty Island stream. We're going to be live. It should be a lot of fun. Go to niftyisland.com to download the game if you haven't downloaded yet. Complete the tutorial, complete the onboarding so you can play the game with us live. We're going to be getting some bloom points. We're going to be farming the island token for the upcoming airdrop. Should be a lot of fun. And we'll see you all tomorrow on Monday. We're live on YouTube, Twitter,